Today, I'm sharing a real story of a DTC supplements brand that we worked with at Legendary. This supplements brand came to us wanting to double their online sales. They had an agency in place and sales were increasing quarter over quarter. So, by typical marketing metrics, things were working. But then we looked at the actual numbers. Their ROAS was 0.32. They were losing money on every new customer acquired. And even worse, they did not have systems in place to capture customer lifetime value. So they were buying customers at a loss and never recovering the investment. 2 years later, they are running at a 4x blended ROAS with a 124% year over year revenue growth. Today, I want to show you exactly what was broken with this brand and what we changed, and then what the numbers looked like at each stage of that change. Let me walk you through what we found when we did the initial audit for them. First, the ROAS reality. Their agency was reporting blended numbers that looked acceptable. But when we separated new customer acquisition from returning customer campaigns, the picture was very different. New customer ROAS 0.2, returning customer 2.1, blended ROAS 0.89. They were spending $3.12 to make every $1 in revenue from new customers. And the returning customer campaigns were barely keeping them afloat. Second is that the lifetime value problem was there. They didn't have subscription offers. They weren't capturing emails effectively. First-time buyers were not coming back at the rates that could justify the acquisition cost. 90-day repurchase rate was 12%, email capture rate 18%, subscription attach rate 0%. There was no subscriptions offered. Our first priority was not growth. It was actually stopping the bleeding. We paused all new customer acquisition campaigns. Yeah, we completely paused them because you can't scale a broken model. You just scale your losses faster. Then we focused on three things. One was building retention infrastructure. We implemented email capture with a welcome offer. We built post-purchase flows. We created a subscription management program with meaningful value for their customers. Initiative number 2 was improving the conversion quality. So what we did was build landing pages around trust building instead of hype. We featured real testimonials, third-party certifications, and transparent ingredient sourcing. Initiative number 3 was developing actual differentiation. We worked with this brand to identify what made their products genuinely different, and we built messaging around those specific claims. Here's what that looked like. We didn't touch paid acquisition during this phase, really. We were building the infrastructure that would make acquisition profitable. So once the retention foundation was in place, we rebuilt acquisition from scratch. The new creative approach involved moving away from curiosity bait and instead leading with specific problems that their products solve. We featured real customers and not stock photos. We also built ads that attracted believers, not skeptics. We also implemented targeting refinement. So instead of broad targeting for clicks, we built audiences around purchase intent signals. We used customer data to find lookalikes of their best customers, not just any customers. And then around funnel alignment, we ensured that what our ads promised, the landing pages delivered. And as a result, here's just some of the changes that we saw in their metrics. It means that new customer acquisition was still below the typical healthy benchmark, but combined with the retention infrastructure, it was profitable. We were acquiring new customers at a $45 CAC, and these were generating $110 in first year value. More importantly, though, we now had data, so we knew exactly which creative, which audiences, and which offers were driving profitable acquisition. With profitable unit economics proven, we could finally scale. So we increased the ad spend gradually, monitoring for efficiency loss over time. We also expanded to new channels while also maintaining ROAS discipline. And our team tested new audiences and new creative angles, always measuring against the metrics that matter most, not just vanity numbers. And so these are some of the results that we had after year 2. In total, we 4x'd the total e-commerce sales versus when we started with this brand. And here's the key. It wasn't achieved by throwing more money at the same broken approach, right? It was achieved by fixing the math first and then scaling what really worked. Okay, let me be specific about what actually changed here. The real problem was not traffic. They were getting plenty of site visitors. The problem was unit economics. They were converting the wrong customers at the wrong cost without systems to recover that investment. So the real problem wasn't creative either. They had plenty of ads. The problem was customer quality and retention. Because the fact is, and you already know this, that better creative doesn't fix a leaky bucket. The real problem also was not conversions, right? Their conversion rate actually dropped initially because we were filtering out discount hunter shoppers. The problem was that they were converting price sensitive buyers who would never generate lifetime value. The solution that really worked here was positioning and trust building to improve conversion quality and retention systems to increase lifetime values, as well as reporting that really connected marketing activities with business health rather than just channel performance. And that is what happens when you optimize for the right math instead of the metrics that make agencies look good. The transformation was not magic, it was math. We identified the constraints, which were unprofitable acquisition, no retention infrastructure, and undifferentiated positioning. We fixed them in the right order: retention first, then acquisition quality, and then scale. We measured what mattered, not click-through rate, not impressions, not blended ROAS, but the relationship between acquisition cost, gross margin, and lifetime value. So like the brands that break through are not the ones with the best creative or the biggest budgets necessarily. They are the ones who stop celebrating vanity metrics and start optimizing for the math that actually determines profitable scalability. If you are stuck, the constraint is findable, the math is fixable, and growth is achievable. If you want to see if your brand has similar fixable constraints, we created an audit process that's specifically built for supplements brands. So link is in the description here. And please subscribe if you want more real numbers and real strategies that will help you grow profitably. Thank you so much for watching.